Hello folks, Typhon Carter here, and I bring to you Smogon Premier League 17. This is a Week 8 matchup between Martial Law of the Stark Sharks and Pideous of the Circus Maximus Tigers. Pideous, once again, continuing to have a fantastic campaign. Martial was back on the Sharks' DPP slot after Malekith had a brief comeback, and then that didn't quite work out, but Martial was back. Martial's been having a decent season himself, for the most part. And this is a very high-end matchup to have, as if you remember and if you follow the DPP Revival Invitational, then you will know that Martial and Pideous actually faced off deep in the winner's bracket, and these two players, Martial finished as the runner-up in Invitational. Pideous had her second money finish, and the only person in invitational history to have multiple money finishes. We've only had two so far, but still, that is nothing to scoff at, and Pideous has carried that momentum into what has been a fantastic SPL campaign so far. Anyways, that being said though, let's jump right into this. Hippowdon lead, so we got a Hippo Mirror here, and both players getting Stealth Rocks up, and Pideous is going to Ice Fang here. Got Roar out. Okay, so neither Hippowdon has Toxic. That's a bit of a rare option, but Blissey is going to be Pideous' swap, and it's got Ice Beam there. Ice Beam's nice on Blissey because it keeps stuff like Rotom honest, keeps Gengar honest, and it also nails something like Flygon really nicely. Anyways, well, the Starmie's gonna come in here, and it's gonna get Whirlwinded out, and Blissey's gonna be forced to Soft Boil here. So Pideous bringing Starmie, which is, it makes sense with Blissey, because generally Blissey just hates Hazard so much. And it's gonna come in. So yeah, like Martial kind of just playing the phasing game right now. Trying to just rack up some hazard damage, and Pideous, you gotta take advantage of that by Seismic Tossing. And now got Seismic Toss again, try to play for the para. Does not get yet, and it looks like a Shed Scarm. So on Martial's end, you see Shed Scarm. This is more of a adaptation. Oh, that is brutal. Got to swap a Clefable here. But as I was saying, Shed Scarms were kind of an adaptation, because we've been seeing a lot of teams in this post sleep ban meta adapting to Hazard Stack by trying to run Shed Shell so that Mag can't trap it. And Clef's gonna get Heal Bell off, which is actually really nice. I'm a big fan of Heal Bell in this post sleep ban metagame, because for example, you can win the status war that way, with Heal Bell, but obviously it's only got 8 PP, so you have to be very careful with it in general. And Blissey's got Soft Bow again, and we're gonna be here for a while, but some interesting things to note is that you kind of indirectly see how the lack of Spore has made this metagame a lot more interesting in terms of how it's responded to such a impactful change, to put it simply. Ice Beam's here. Pideous probably just try to fish for a freeze. Generally, yeah, this is a 1v1 that Blissey normally loses, and great entry point from Martial there, as he's gonna be able to get a roost off for. Oh, I don't know about that, because now the Starmie's gonna be able, if it gets one opportunity, it's gonna be able to spin hazards away. Oh man, did Pideous put speed EVs on that Blissey? No. I mean, that's a lot of speed you have to be putting for that to happen. So what likely happened was Martial tried to Whirlwind, and we see this sequence where Blissey's just try to spam Ice Beam, get the freeze. And EQ's here, 39, well, it's really 46% because of, net damage, and this is going to really test both players' patience. Oh, that's Starmie coming in. This is gonna be an awkward turn. Yeah, forced to recover here. Gotta Roar again, and Scissors gonna come in. So, this might be one of those dual win condition teams, or like a stall with Scizor or Wincon, which Makes sense because sometimes something like a DD tar can overwhelm this kind of team that Pideous has going, especially if the Hippo gets exploded on. And oh, hazards are gonna be gone for the, or at least there's gonna be no more spikes. You're only gonna have to deal with rocks, which for Pideous, she would much rather deal with that all game than have to deal with spikes. Rapid spins again here. They'll get roared out. And yeah, this is kind of what happens when there's no ghost on the field. And here's the really nice thing though for Pideous, as Marshall is trying to fight through this, is that if Pideous can find that opportunity, she can actually bring the Zapdos in as an entry point and then use that to try and waste PP on the Hippano if it like tries to EQ, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Anyways, keeps roaring again. Well, okay, yeah, there's the Zapdos. Marshall's got the Scout Toxic, I think, because we've been seeing a lot more Toxic in SPL, or like rather just in general. And roars again here. Scissors gonna come in, and okay, so no U-turn here. So that tells me the Scizor set is probably SD Roost, Bullet Punch, and then some combination of either Bug Bite or, you know, Superpower. Could also be Suit as well. I know that's a option too. And Close gonna come in here. Got Seismic Toss and Hippowdon. I mean, Chilanberry. Oh, that's a interesting choice. For those who don't know, Chilanberry basically reduces how much normal moves do. Actually not sure what normal move you're trying to avoid. I guess Return on Gira or E-Speed Lucario. I have some ideas, but can't say for sure. It's an interesting choice for sure though. And then, oh, that's a huge EQ crit. So so Hippo will at least be able to get rocks up, and rocks are gonna stay up for the rest of the game. And Ice Beam's here, so this Clef. I mean, yeah, again, as per Marshall's last, there's a couple possibilities I could think of. For starters, I think probably CM Laddie, because I think generally you want a pure or at least a real win condition on these kind of stall teams that doesn't just involve, you know, just letting hazards do work. I'm generally not a fan of like true do nothing stalls, just because like one, like it's just way too passive. You need to be able to play proactively when you need to, even though stall teams by nature are reactive. And it's just more about having agency over your own play. Anyways, Ice Fang's here again, and oh brother, go Roar here and straight into the Bliss. Hippo's gonna come in, and for Marshall, I think, yeah, you got, I think, yeah, like you're 18 out of 32 on roars. He's gonna have to start paying attention. He's gonna have to like start actually conserving those a little bit, and you kind of see that he's doing this just by staying in there. Yeah, sure. The only problem here is that there's really nothing stopping Pideous from actually running Marshall over with the Scizor. Obviously, he could have something like a mag in the back, like maybe like a Scarf Magneton. I know some stall teams like to run that. If you're more on the fringe side, then something like defensive Breloom is seen sometimes, but that's something that I know PDC and Osgood love. Oh, huge freeze there. And yeah, I mean, in a game where you're getting a lot of hacks like this, Something like that can be the difference for. And okay, yeah, Mag on Pideous is not too surprising. Mag's gonna switch out here. Marshall clearly comfortable trading there, so it's obviously not CM Laddie based on how he's playing this. Oh brother. And then the other thing I could think of that Marshall could have in the back here, I mean, you gotta have another steal. Something like a Jirachi would actually make a ton of sense. Heal bells here, okay, sure. Yeah, he still has that, so the freeze. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. It's been 50 turns. You gotta give me a break, and it's also, I'm recording this at 1 in the morning. Anyways, got S-Toss here again. Just gonna do a quick update here. Oh man, Pideous still has slack ops to burn for days. So for Pideous, I mean, again, the goal is that in these stall mirrors, it's all about PP management, and obviously not having the clef, or sorry, having the bliss have its leftovers knocked off can be quite annoying. And then you know, it takes away your option to do things like, you know, double to get lefties recovery, especially because both sides are going to be playing with rocks up. But to be frank, for both players, it's like relatively negligible, because you generally expect to play with rocks on the field, and to Zapdos again, we don't know if it has toxic or not. Marshall's gonna go into Clef to scout that. And the thing to really pay attention to in this game is gonna be that Scizor that Pideous has in the back, because if Marshall is not careful and he starts running really low on PP and whatnot, that Scizor, that's gonna be a problem. Anyways, Ice Fangs again, no freeze. So again, the goal here for Pideous, try to get some hacks, try to you know, make Marshall waste more heal bells. And Scizor's gonna come in here, gotta get some recovery back. Gotta start SDing up here, so Pideous has found their opportunity. For Marshall, you better show your steal if you have it. And S-Toss is here. Go recover here. Seismic tosses again. If you're Pideous, I'm taking that kill. Bug Buddy's here, nice and easy. Mag's gonna come in, not surprised. And oh, it's HP Fire Mag, which I guess on these stall teams makes sense. It's an unusual choice, I have to admit, but there's the counter trap. And Kratilli is the last. Oh man. Oh wait, I think Malekith actually brought something like this last year. Sorry, I'm gonna pause. I know it's a long game, but no oh wait, no, there is lefties, so it's not male. Suction Cup means that this Kratilli can actually teabag Pideous' entire team, but Pideous has a one attack window where she could get freeze. Actually no, the Hippo has like 14 Ice Fangs left, so that's another way that, you know, it could like potentially win. And yep, Marshall's going for broke now. Did he need to go for broke? I don't think. Oh, oh my god, no, oh my god, man. And the Magneton. Oh wait, no, he unfalls. He unfalls. Okay, so he has a chance. And then Pideous has to do this again. And she has like 13 more chances to get a freeze here. Gonna start seed bombing here. I don't know, but I don't know. I would probably. Okay, curses up again. Marshall could win this. It's not guaranteed because, you know, you can obviously get Hacks Oblivion. Oh brother. Oh my god, that's just tragic. Marshall got out pretty easy last time, but now you have like free. Oh my god, that crit's not gonna help either. Yeah, no. Oh man, no, I think Marshall just loses. No, oh my god, that was like the worst possible outcome he could have gotten. Pideous is going to win this game. Oh my god. Okay, I feel kind of bad because I'm gonna be honest, Marshall should have won, but at the same time, when you're using like these curse sweepers, like these crit me not or hacks me not sweepers, this is kind of what you open yourself up to. Like when you need several turns to set up. Pideous did relatively get lucky. Like it's totally fair to say that because like got like 2 ice fang freezes in that window. But I think something, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for Marshall though, something to look back on though, I think, like, yeah, the easy thing is to say, yeah, he got robbed, but at the same time, when you look at this, his magneton was hidden power fire. The clef, what I think Marshall could have done was try to look for a window. Like, the clef is faster than the Hippowdon, right? So what Marshall could do here, if he keeps that clef around, you don't need Latias in the game anymore, right? What's the Latias doing for you? Trading T-Wave for Magneton? And then the other thing I would say is a big takeaway here is the fact that he should have sacked the Latias, I think, because again, I think it was very evident that if you look at the type of team that Pideous is, right, she's running bulky SD Scizor. Yeah, it wants a mag because yeah, sure, you have Zapdos, you have Starmie, but that alone isn't enough to deal with opposing Scarm, even though I think Marshall could have preserved a Scarm a bit better in the early game. But the other thing I would say Marshall could have actually done, like after you sack the Latias, yeah, you get the counter trap off, and then from there, sure, you can bring the Cradily in, and if you get haxed, if you get frozen, what you can do is, like, you still have plenty of slack offs, right, to try and waste Pideous's Ice Fangs on her end, and then you can also use Clef to try and look for a window to get the heal bell off, right? So that's something I think Marshall should have done, especially knowing that the Magneton was HP fire. So yeah, no, I mean, it was a missed opportunity for Marshall, and he did misplay, and you can kind of really see how misplaying the Scizor sequence indirectly came back to bite him, because if you keep your Clef right after you knock the Scizor off and whatnot, you can have the Magneton KO the Scizor with HP fire, and then from there, like, you could catch it roosting and whatnot, and then from there you can try to let the Cradily do the work, and you still have a failsafe with Heal Bell Clef, right? So there's that. Anyways, that being said though, if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.